Hello all and welcome to this hands-on lab. In our lab today, we will chat about AWS services with Amazon Q Developer. Prerequisites for this lab is knowledge of Amazon Q Developer. Hence, if you do not know what this service is all about, please refer to this overview tutorial that I had created some time back. URL to the tutorial is mentioned right here at the bottom. I will also have it posted in the description of this video. I would recommend that you visit this reference URL as this reference URL has additional information about this particular topic. Again, I will have it posted in the description of this video. As I create additional videos on Amazon Q, I will have all of those videos added to this particular playlist on my channel. If you would like, you can basically bookmark this link and you will be updated with new videos as they are released. Again, I will have this posted in the description of this video. Scenario for our lab today. Today we will chat with Amazon Q Developer about AWS services. It's a very simple scenario, and this particular lab does not require the pro version or the pro license of Amazon Q Developer. You can do this lab with the free version of this particular service as well. So let's get started. First, log into your console and then go to Amazon Q Developer in the right-hand corner. So let me shift to my console. This is my console right here. I've already logged in. And this is Amazon Q Developer. So click on this particular icon. So we've completed these two steps. Now what we are going to do in today's tutorial is that we are going to ask these questions to Amazon Q Developer. I've actually copied these questions over here in this notepad. Okay, so I can easily copy them and paste them right there. See, these are a few shortlisted questions that I have over here. What I am trying to achieve in this lab is to showcase to you how to interact with Amazon Q Developer and how Amazon Q Developer will respond back to you. So let us go ahead and ask some of these questions to this particular service. It's an amazing service. It's very helpful as long as you know what to ask and most importantly, how to ask. So let's take this first question. I'm just going to copy it and we are going to paste this question right here. So paste this question and we are asking Amazon Q Developer, what is the maximum runtime for a Lambda function? So let's see what the response is. If the response is good, we will give it a thumbs up. If not, we'll give it a thumbs down. So still generating the response. And you can see the response is being generated. So it's basically telling us as the maximum runtime or timeout is 15 minutes or 900 seconds. And then the rest of the details are mentioned right here. And these are the various sources that it used to get this particular response. So I'm going to give it a thumbs up. If you would like to copy this response, you can click on this copy button as well. Now I'm going to ask Amazon Q Developer, when should I put my resources in a VPC? So let me copy this and paste this right here. So let's see what response it comes back with. If you see, because I gave it a thumbs up over here, it says thank you for your feedback. And that is critical for this service because the more feedback that you give, it can basically improve itself. The model behind the scenes will continue to improve itself. So it's now saying it depends on a specific requirement and use case. However, in general, it is recommended to deploy your resources within a VPC for the following reasons. It's saying for isolation and security, private network, internet connectivity, compliance and regulatory requirements, integration with on-premises infrastructure, service integration. And it's important to note that while deploying resources within a VPC is generally recommended for security And isolation purposes, there might be specific use cases where resources can be deployed outside a VPC, such as a public-facing website or services that do not require a strict network isolation. And then it's telling you to refer to the VPC documentation and the sources right here. Now, let me take another question. I'm going to ask, like, what is a security group? Okay, now you can use pretty much any question. I'm just asking some random questions. Let's see what it comes back with. And post that, I will say, how do I list my Amazon S3 buckets and how do I create a host website on AWS? Now, let's see if it specific guidance. Okay, so I'm asking it. So there's a reason why I asked this. So if you can see, this is basically a textbook question, right? Like, what is a security group? Now, although I'm not able to offer specific guidance about security and compliance, I can suggest some resources. So security group is giving you some, and then it's given you a security group about EC2. Now, I probably assume that it would know that I'm asking about a security group for EC2. So I'm going to give it a thumbs down, but okay, I'm going to say that I assumed that it would understand that a security group was for EC2. Now remember, that's an assumption on my part, okay? Not sure if that's a good assumption or a bad assumption. Something else. I'm going to give it something else. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask this question in a different manner, and maybe then it will. What is an EC2 security group? Let's see if it gets this. See, again, it's the same thing. Now, I specifically said that what is an EC2 security group? Okay, but again, it did not give me this, which is not good. Okay, I'm going to say it's not accurate. Did not get the right response, and I'm going to submit it. Okay, so let's go to the next one. How do I list my Amazon S3 buckets? I'm going to copy this and paste this right here. Let's see what it does about this. So now it's telling me that to ask questions about your resources, consent to cross-region calls in chat settings. And for more information, look at the documentation. And now it is telling me that, hey, refer to this particular Amazon S3 documentation. And it is basically pointing me to the fact that I need this particular permission, etc., etc. So it's not responding to my question. And see, I'm only asking it to tell me that how do I list it. I'm not sure if this is needed for that. Okay, it is telling me that I go through the console, I go through the CLI, through SDK, through the toolkit, and I need the specific permission, which is a decent answer. But this is not relevant. Okay, so I don't know why it brought that, and is also talking about the sources. So if I'm not asking it to list my S3 buckets, I don't think it needs to tell me that I need to enable, cross region. I need to consent to cross region calls. Okay, I'm just asking a very simple question. So basically saying not accurate. I don't need to consent to cross region calls to know how to list my S3 buckets. Okay, so I'm going to give it feedback. Now, let's do one thing. I'm going to go to this gear icon as you see over here, right here in the settings icon. I'm going to consent to cross-region calls and apply. And now I'm going to ask this question all over again. Now let's see what is the difference in the response. So now I gave it the consent that I was asking for. So it should be all good. And now let's see what's coming back with. See, now it is coming back with the same response. You can see it's the management console, CLI, SDKs, then it should have the toolkit or toolkit for JetBrains, okay, or whatever ID that you are trying to use. And then, okay, list all my buckets. And there it is. And now if you see this particular response and the response that I got right here on the top is pretty much the same. These are the three URLs and it's the same three URLs away. And this is actually the right response. But I got this response after giving the cross-region consent, which I don't think is necessary to generate this response. I'm only asking it, how do I do it? I'm not telling it that can you go ahead and list all my S3 buckets? That's a separate question. Okay. I'll create a separate video on how to, chat about your resources and costs with Q. But right now, just to talk about AWS services, I don't need the cross-region consent. Okay. Now let me ask what port is used for SSL. Now again, see that this is a security question. Now let's see what it does with this particular question. Does it freak out or does it give me the right port? Let's see. Now see again, I'm only asking it what is the port for SSL. It should actually tell me the right port. It seems that for anything that is related to security and compliance, it does not give any specific response. It just directs me to the documentation. Okay, I don't know, maybe that's by design. I'm going to give it a feedback and I'm going to say something else. And I'm saying, is it by design that Amazon Q does not provide or respond to even the basic security questions like which port is used for SSL? So I'm posting a question. I assume and believe that this is by design. Okay, but I'm still posting a question and giving them some feedback. Okay, now let's go to this question. When should I use an ALB? Let's see what it has to say about this. Now, this is a generic, simple question. Okay, like if I want to use if I want to know when should I use an application load balancer? Okay, let's see now. Okay, complex routing. Okay, this is much better. It's talking about some key features, SSL, WebSockets. Okay. And there it is. This is a good answer. Okay, so I'm going to give it a thumbs up. I'm going to use what is the best container service over here. Let's see what it does about this one. Hopefully it can answer this question accurately. So it's now telling me I am not able to make a recommendation based on your criteria. Okay, please enter your EC2 instance family criteria in the instance find type finder. Sorry. So let's go and see what is this. Now I'm saying what is the best container service to run my workload if I need to keep my costs low? Now why can't it find us? Okay, let me see. Is EKS or ECS? I'm just giving it a couple of options. It's my I'm going to reword this a little bit. Okay. I'm going to remove the complexity of the cast. And let's see what it does with this. So now you see how you frame the question, and the prompt is also the key over here. Now let's see what it does with this question. See, now it's giving me a better response. Now it is assuming some of the instance families over here. Now we have expected that it would have done this earlier. And now I also made it a specific between EKS and ECS. And now it's telling me about the instance family right here. This is a better, much better answer. Now let me see if I can take the very same question, paste it right here and say what's the best container services to run my workloads. And I'm going to remove this. Now let's see what it has to say. Does it give me an accurate response or does it just fizzle off? Okay, not again. So not again. Okay, let's see now over here. What is the best container service? EKS or ECS to run my workloads if I need to keep my costs low. Let's see. Now I've added the cost complexity again. Okay, so it does not get with the cost complexity. Okay, let me see if I can reword this. At a low cost. Okay, still no. So unfortunately, didn't get this. I'm going to give it a thumbs down, and this is not accurate for sure. Okay. Okay, and let me just ask this last question. Okay. Let's see what it has to do with this. Okay, so now it's telling me to set up an account. Okay, it's talking about a static S3 website. Okay, Lightsail, Amplify, EC2, Elastic Beanstalk. Okay, this is good. And all this is good. Now let me add, how do I create and secure a website on AWS? I'm adding security in the mix. Let's see what it does. See, again, whenever you add security in the mix, it does not give you a response. Okay. How do I create host and secure a website on AWS? At least it should give me the response for create and host. See, but see, this is not good. Okay. It can at least give me the response for create and host. So this is not good. This is incomplete or not useful. Okay. How do I asked you, okay, how do I create response? At least a response for create and at least a response for creating and hosting a website should be provided. I understand that queue has been programmed not to answer security questions. Okay, so these are some of the questions that we used today. I would encourage that you play around with this particular service. As I said, it's a free version. You can ask as many questions as you want, especially about AWS services. We shared a couple of questions today, and we also provided a lot of feedback. Do provide your feedback as well, because that helps the Q team to enhance and improve the model behind the scenes. So this is it from me, guys. I hope that this lab was helpful. Do post your comments, and I will see you shortly in some other video. Till then, take care. Bye bye.